brother down with Shizzywhiznut.
An open letter to Vomit. Your stupidity is legendary, you basement-dwelling buffoon. Dear Vomit, you sniveling little Substack hack slinking out of mommy's dingy basement with your so-called investigation. That's what got all the punch of a deflated balloon. This DUI guy opens up a can of worms with a lawsuit gambit. Give me a break, you vomit-spewing clown. The only worms here are the ones ringing through your fact-free fever dream. All while you lap up Deuce's desperate delusions like a thirsty little lapdog. You think you're exposing some grand scandal? Nah, you're just peddling half-baked horse shit for clicks, misattributing everything in cite and treating allegations like gospel. But let's staple your sorry article to the wall and shred it claim by claim, short, sharp, and absolutely lethal. I'll stick to the actual filings you cherry-picked, what's merely alleged, and what you are freestyling like a basement-dwelling conspiracy clown. So buckle up, Buttercup, because this is going to leave your ass chapped. And oh, while we're at it, let's drag some more of Deuce's self-owning drivel from his pathetic emails and demand notes, because nothing screams credible source like a guy who begs me to change your approach, uncovering her harassment circus while whining about my coverage of Michelle's Depot rebroadcast, all the while admitting that two Lees do it consecutively and quadruple views. Hypocrite much, Deuce? But you, Vomit, you're even dumber, because your stupidity is so profound, it's got its own court record of cease and desist orders slapped you in at least 2 cases for your reckless reporting, plus that epic self-sabotage where you ruined someone else's custody battle, losing the kids after you screwed that one up. So how does it feel to be such a colossal screw-up that even Deuce's dumbass outshines you? Hell, even when Deuce tried writing open letters, he bombed so hard he hid in shame from me, the guy who calls himself a mentally incompetent YouTube moron. Licking windows and chewing crayons admits that I'm the last person to trust for legal analysis. Yet even he spots parody versus defamation. So what does that make you for swallowing this bullshit load whole? Because you kick off this little claim, claiming Larry copies playbook with clout lawsuit for YouTube views, which is pure bullshit. The pleadings are straight up real litigation, DTSA for trade secrets, theft, Lanham Act for unfair competition, CFAA for unauthorized computer access, fiduciary duty breaches, contract interference, injunctive relief, damages, fees. Then everyone pivots into arbitration with the plaintiff moving to stay under the FAA. Now that's the exact opposite of your little YouTube gamut fantasy. The broader harassment ecosystem, that's BB's twisted hobby, not Larry's. Speaking of Deuce's hobbies, his garbage big internet YouTube story, spam to Law 360 and poacher podcasters pitches a major tale of Hales destroying lives via depots. Meanwhile, while he's out there licking asphalt on the fleas, the same crap for views, CCing Megan Fox, Umbrella Guy, and then including every low-rent echo chamber that can't even read a fucking court document fully, as his own email admits. Are you only interested in lazy content for larger view numbers regardless of whether you're helping harm others? Well, pot meat kettle, you fraud. Your whole spiel's lazy harassment fodder for elderly disabled neighbors and a 4-year-old kid. And how much did you get paid again? Okay, back to the meat of your garbage vomit, because your pro se stunt job is a joke. You're grasping at straws. Multiple filings are signed as an attorney for the plaintiffs himself and the firm. Not some amateur tomfoolery, just basic lawyering. And then of course, you're going to cream your little panties over Larry trying to enforce an unethical non-compete, getting caught hiding it. Wrong. The original complaint pleaded non-solicitation, which is perfectly kosher, and the amended posture explicitly says plaintiffs aren't seeking to enforce the post-employment paragraph. Even if there was an ethics debate, it's moot. The live claims ride on trade secrets, unfair competition, computer access violations, not some restraint that's been dropped, and your whine that he changed the count heading to hide the non-solicit. The substantive change is what counts, fuckwit. Plaintiffs aren't enforcing the post-employment paragraph. Why are you keep whining about a fence that no one's climbing? Because you bleat that the contract requires arbitration, but Larry sued instead. That's standard sequencing, not your pearl-clutching bullshit. Defense invoked the arbitration clause. Larry agreed and moved to stay. The remedy in federal court is compel stay. And your claim he balked at arbitration with sanctions following, he didn't balk, he asked the court to stay under the FAA and add teeth if either side games the forum. It's like skipping arbitration fees. Defense kept one foot in court chasing sanctions leverage. Larry kept repeatedly told the judge, send this to arbitration. Your text that you're showing Larry admitted they did nothing wrong crap, that's just a bullshit defense spin. Because you're waving around cherry-picked snippets. There's no order that adopts it. No judge buys it, and until there's a full thread of those emails, those texts in context, and a real judicial finding, it's just a brief that's bloated with low T levels, and you should know all about that, vomit. Hell, Deuce's own reply filing is the real joke here, a padded cell monologue repeating itself like a parrot with a head injury, citing their own crap as truth in a self-licking lollipop of circular nonsense. And as I've already pointed out, the admission center piece is the one line from a text you don't have discovery in your possession. That's it. That's the so-called smoking gun, the legal equivalent of a grocery list. If that's your bombshell evidence, vomit, you're firing blanks. The forgery bombshell where Larry faked Tyler's signature is just an allegation. It's not a finding. They slapped an image of a filed pleading with the typed S signatures and screamed KRS 516.040. There's no audit trail, no evidence you're hearing, no order, just captions and crap. Courtrooms run on ruling, not rage bait, idiot. AI slop, now that's an insult. It's not evidence, no hallucinated cases, no phantom sites in the papers. If they had a real AI misuse ruling, don't you think that they would be all over this and have it blasted everywhere? No. Your spin that Larry admitted he had no right to file? Bullshit. He acknowledged the arbitration cause and sought the FAA stay. That's not admitting the suit was improper. It's how you enforce arbitration when things kick off in court, idiot. On damages, you scoff that the client list is just in cyberspace and ask if it's all for YouTube content. Trade secrets and confidential business info are protected based on how they're compiled, safeguarded, and used. It's digital, ain't defense. The pleadings seek real injunctions, damages, fees under federal law. Now, your YouTube motive crap died when arbitration took over, and while we're at it, why don't we talk about Deuce's damages? His bullshit demand letter begs for $492,597.67 because this couldn't even round it to $500,000. Had Blender his hurt feelings into an exact tantrum price. Plus 3 apology videos, the same length, same graphics, same time slot. That's the man to defend his reputation. That's a whiny little biatch, pricing his pout and then filing the very transcripts he claimed ruined him as exhibits. Immortalizing the jokes in a public document, becoming his own distributor, stapling them to his forehead like the fool he is, because his verified complaint whines that Larry's videos falsely claim something, but his own transcripts blow that apart. Cell phone bubbles. Good job. Opposing counsel for BBB says Larry can't hack it in industry agrees. That's not industry consensus. It's straight up adversary spin from a bitter ex-bitch getting screwed over by Bubbles. Guess that numbnuts is too dumb to see he's being played like a cheap kazoo in Deuce's orchestra of idiocy. Hey, Vomit, speaking of paint chips, your little court loser buddy there? Who's the giver and who's the receiver in your pathetic hump fest? You two clowns deserve each other, both too stupid to avoid getting reamed in court, and I hear that he gets it. He wants to get it even harder in prison again and again. And as Jay says, harder, and again, harder, and sloppier. He just can't wait to get back to visit Bubba now, can he? Well, neither Larry nor Shizzy responded to my email. Check. What a dipshit. Why would Larry litigate a Substack DM during an active case? And as for me, your questions were so loaded with wrong assumptions, conspiracy crap, and one loaded phrase per comma. Me ignoring a bad faith, idiotic questionnaire isn't admission. It's basic hygiene. Larry aired his response on YouTube. Misattribution. The link their side cited is my live stream. They're saying it was Larry's live stream. It wasn't. It was my live stream on Shizzywhiznut, this channel right here that you're watching this on, where I read filings, dismantle bad arguments, and speculated BBB was pulling a pressure play. It ain't Larry's content, moron, as Deuce's own reply filing bungles it, pointing to my video, a journalist that used to have a sparkly helmet, and trying to pin it on Larry. That's not an argument. That's the sloppiest kind of lie, moron. But I hear Paint Chips does like it sloppy. That's the sort of mistake you make whenever you're in such a hurry to smear that you just don't even check the information. And of course, finally, you crow that the court is on to him. Perjury, sanctions, the works. They filed proposed sanctions and status conferences and orders with blinks and hollered perjury and Rule 11 motion, then retracted it under safe harbor. Same day. If they had a signed order, they'd have framed it. Instead, it's noise, just in paragraph form. Huffing ordinary scraps into courtroom fireworks, quoting their own prior spin like an echo is evidence. Bonus is stupidity, because Deuce's June 11 bar complaint spam CCing Fox Umbrella me tries to throw shade on Shock and Scream and Polyflop's game while he multiplies proceedings for YouTube profit. Ironic projection from the king of frivolous filings. Look how that turned out. Let's not forget the facts you glossed over because they torch your trash fire story. So bad, isn't it? Website while employed. First use of the competing site logged while they were still on payroll. SOS registration. The new entity formed days after termination. Court address uses. Mismatched addresses on cases during crossover period. 18 cases. Theme. Pleadings. Allege appearances while still under the firm banner. All that backs the actual claims and screams why injunctive relief and arbitration matter more than your YouTube screenshots and your sensationalism. It's amazing to me that the docket vibe shifted, you noticed, right around Doc 15 window. Because the defense filings turned into a circus. The YouTube links, forgery, perjury, fireworks, Rule 11 theater, and phone call please. Meanwhile, plaintiff has stayed focused. Compel arbitration. Stay the case. Move this out of the peanut gallery. While you got one side chasing optics, the other one, they're chasing resolution. So here's a quick little timeline to kill your narrative dead. March 8th, 25 terminations. April 14th, original complaint filed. April 21st, amended posture, no enforcement of the post-employment non-solicit. In May, defense moves to compel arbitration, plaintiff agrees and moves to stay. June, defense launches sanctions theater and slips perjury before retracting it. September 22nd, they file a status call motion waiving my stream around and the forgery allegation. September 30th, plaintiff responds, arbitration is the only live issue, deny the call, stick to the FAA stay. So, Fallmet, your article leans on motive mongering, misattribution, and allegations paraded as facts. And the record shows solid federal claims, a clean pivot to arbitration, and a repeated request to stay the court case while parties arbitrate. The non-compete scarecrow is moot. The forgery and those tags are all allegations. They're not findings. The AI slop job is just name calling, because you can even cite my live stream and pretend it's Larry's response. If you want reality instead of a paid smear campaign, read the filings, because they actually tell a different story. So now go crawl back into mommy's little basement, refresh the pathetic little sub count that you've got, and leave the real reporting to the grown-ups, because you're done. You're destroyed, dismissed. Hell, even your former pal, Megan Fox, medium smart at best, had the brains to steer clear of your dumbass before it drug her down too. Signed, Shizzy, Papa Nut. The guy with Velcro shoes and a safety helmet, licking windows on the short bus while eating blue crayons because the red ones make me way, way too damn hyper. We don't like that.
It is about time. Let's break this mother down. With Shizzywhiznut.